It is my idea that this forum marches on the first day of the mining in Indaba, not on the last day when the big mining weeks, honchos have left, because others stay for a day, others stay maybe for 2 days. But because as we were arriving there, some were already going in the buses and somehow. So I wanted to suggest that we march on the first day, so that as they deliberate with our declaration already. And also, whoever we are targeting to give the memorandum to, we should start engaging them now, like March going forward, so that by that time next year, they had already committed. We find all tricks to pin them down, to get them to take this thing here in Cape Town.
I think a march is a space where we're supposed to show more aggression. You know, as compared to last year the march was more aggressive. And we had a lot of people in the hall coming out because of how we conduct ourselves. So I feel people were in a hurry to finish, more than trying to raise our concerns. So I feel next year, those who are coming, where we were by the robots is the most strategic place where we should utilize to raise our voices. You can't go to the corner and start shouting. You need to shout where people will see you. And I think the more you make the police angry, the more things become exciting. So if you know, we can go to churches and pray and say amen and go. So I think that point is a key point. So next year, those coming, when we prepare, that should be the area where we need to make sure, don't run away, we won't get beaten, we won't get shot. But I'm saying that area for me is a very strategic point that we need to exploit at all costs.
I just want to raise the issue of how social media, or raise the question of how social media is used to support processes like this. And I'm wondering whether there's a strategy and whether in the future there is a need to use social media to not only promote, but to also raise awareness to the issues that not only are discussed here, but issues that would be presented in the march. And that's the only point that I want to make.
This is the 4th time to march, is it so? I think we need also to check if we have succeeded, or how far have we succeeded with all of these 3 marches or 4 marches that you have made. Because I'm afraid for today's march, I felt like we have been addressing ourselves that keep left there. Why saying so? It's like those people whom really we targeted, we haven't seen them. And even the media whom could have amplified our voice, they came there while it was late. People were really tired. We were not active as at the start. So I think we need to see the best mechanism we can make it. My proposal in that is if we can manage to have some of the officials that really we target, and possibly come to our room without the demonstration or without the march. Coming to our room and we address our issues, and if some of them, they have some responses, that would have helped in terms of advocacy rather than just marching and ending up banned along the way. But the second one is in our march, we failed to have really a master commander. And if we were fighting, really we were badly beaten. We could have been badly beaten. Why? Everyone was voicing out. Someone says, now we have to sit down. I know you are using your language. I can't take your language. I don't know what is it. Someone says you need to sit, to kneel. Other says we need to go forward. Other says now we have to march slowly, slowly. Now you see the three commands. Which one could have been executed? That is very challenging. So I think in the following marching, if we're told there will be, it's good to have a chief commander of our group who really will have the final say whether or not we are moving or we are not moving, who will really communicate with those policies. Everyone was here communicating with the policies. I don't know what we were communicating anyway, because we had leaders for our group. Those were the person who really supposed to communicate them and give us feedback. So others, we were moving. Others were staying with the policies. I don't know what were they negotiating. This is very surprising. So I just really call upon us all to rethink the way we can organize this to have a robust change.
I think the invitation came a long way that the preparation should have done. So next time, please let's dwell on the preparation to be action on the march. And then another last point is, okay, I do recommend the facilitation the facilitator did on the workshop and so on. But I need to sort of maybe advise or give an advice here on the international mining that because there's one on the 2, 3, 4 of March coming to Toronto, Canada. Maybe if the facilitators, I don't know how they can get some funding then to go there, they're gonna meet who the culprits are in that particular mining down. Thank you.
This is Nwode. I just wanted to ask if our statement is being released by the media, or have we released it to the media? Could somebody tell us?
Thank you, Mandla. Mandla will address that. I think it's, you'll talk about it towards the end of this.
Any other comments, any other feedback about the March past? Anyone who is inspired? The language you use. Are you inspired?
Just one additional comment on communication strategy. I wonder if, and I think it's related to something someone else said earlier, I wonder if part of the process also should include and should ensure that somebody from the media is constantly here from day one. And that there is hopefully a constant reporting of conversations that are taking place, spot interviews with participants that will put the issue in the public square long before a march or anything else.
Maybe we need to have a bus that goes around the International Convention Center with slogans on it. Maybe we should start thinking out of the box and thinking of how do we have an impact on such an event, and how do we get our key messages through. So I think we've got to give it some thought, and we also got to give some thought as to what do we do with the outcomes of this conference, and how do we really promote those outcomes, or do they just lie on paper and are they forgotten about?
Maybe we also may need to go there in the morning, so that as the people are filing in to the convention center, we are already there lining up the streets with all our messages. I think that might also help. And also, if it is possible, we could also find some space to put a billboard close to the convention center, which speaks about us, which speaks about our messages, which speaks about the issues that we will raise later, so that it is permanently in front of the Convention Center. Maybe that might also be another way of trying to get our message through. Thank you.
Right from the beginning, we've had a Twitter handle. Yeah. So most of what we've been saying has been tweeted and has been picked up and retweeted and so on. But we had a media team, so we sent out a press release on the first day, and it was picked up by quite a few media. In fact, we sent one on Monday. We've had a few interviews. Every once in a while, the media calls while we are, during our deliberations. In fact, right now we have a member of the media within us. It's not meant to disrupt us, so we have selected spokespeople that the media speaks to. So our message is getting out there in the media, and I'm sure by the end of today, the declaration will have been picked up by quite a few media. So it's going the same way. We've been really fortunate to have a team that has an organized and a worldwide media team.
I would just like to say something very short in terms of the concerns that were raised, especially on the concern of a leader in a stature of Bishop Jose Yoga. Yes, he was not with us today, so maybe we can think of engaging the face of the AMI early, so that we know that we have someone who will be at the face of the AMI. And then in terms of the control of what happens during the march itself, there it's a bit difficult because there will be people who are assigned to take care of specific things, but because it's a space for people, so other people will feel that maybe they need to play a role as well. So we can maybe just think if we will need to be strict and say, don't talk to the police unless you are a marshal. But you know, the police, they have this tendency of just trying to harass anyone who's next to them, and those people feel that they need to respond to the police. But we were covered, they knew who to talk to, and if there were others who just came who did not know who to talk to, those are the ones who just grabbed anyone who was next to them. But we were covered in terms of who was supposed to address the police from the beginning up until the end.
Very, very beautiful and what's the correct English word? Encouraging, I think, feedback in terms of what has happened, and in a sense also taking us to our last session. What are the key issues that you think we may need to take back to our respective communities when we go back? From Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, what are the key issues that you think we will need to go back with to our communities? Each one of us are coming from different communities, so obviously there will be different issues. But I want to get a sense of what are those things that, according to you, are really worth taking back home to your various constituencies.
There's a lot to take to Botswana. First of all, really, I was really challenged by the keynote address, even though we didn't interrogate it after the speaker. But I thought we were supposed to make comments or just respond to the keynote speaker. And the community voices, really, that's what touched me a lot, which I think we have to work hard in Botswana. The video clips that were presented here, and also the march. Really, that was a quite experience for me, because we are not used to march out in Botswana, we're not used to doing.
It has been really, really an important experience to share and to be with you. I think 2 or 3 thoughts that we will bring home. First is that the logic of the mining companies is the same here and there. So it's the same logic of the way governments act, it's the same way the histories that the mining tell to people when they arrive to a community is the same impunity that we are seeing, is the same discourse of development. So we need to unite really our struggles and our thinking more and more and more in the South-South deepened dialogue. Because it will be impossible for us to find solutions only to our own community unless we are able to connect with our struggles in other communities. So this is for me, one of the key lessons. Second, I think that really the question of mining cannot be isolated as the problem only of that community that is direct affected by that mine. It's a question of humanity, because of course the communities are affected, but as well the cities are affected by the way the mining is being done. The workers, the church faith-based groups. So it's quite important to be broad alliances of people that are struggling in the community, but as well the workers. So these kind and the faith-based leaders. So how for us to build huge platforms that could really challenge the question of mining. I think the final one is that something that we need to do in the future, maybe if we are able to do both the previous one, is how we touch the heart and the mind of people that are outside this room, not only in the community and in the communities, but as well in the cities. How to expose the mining problem as a key question in this model of development, and how for us really to build alternatives to this way of mining. What are our proposals? If we don't want the mine to come, what do we propose to people in the areas? What we propose to people in the world? So I think build alternatives is one of our tasks, and no one of us will be able to do it alone. So isolating ourselves will completely impede us of building deep alternatives. So I think that something that I bring home is the necessity of our common discussion to build alternatives that could be more meaningful in terms of our society and our time.